back to George's Gaming Guide. I'm Breakingdad, and today we're looking at the new McLaren P1, the latest in the line of the 1/8 scale supercars that LEGO do. Previous to this, they've released the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, the Bugatti Chiron, the Lamborghini Sian FKP37, and the Ferrari Daytona SP3. Other than the Porsche, you'll find reviews on the channel, which are in the link in the description below. There will be a video coming for the Porsche 911. We have got it. Was bought second hand, so I am going to strip it down and rebuild it again on the as part of the channel. But today, as I say, we've got the McLaren P1. So the set number is 42172. Comes with 3,893 pieces, so it's a big old set. And in terms of size, it's 14 centimetres, which is about 5.5 inches in height, 59 centimetres, 23 inches in length, and 25 centimetres, 9.5 inches in width. So similar size to the other 1/8 scales that we have. For this, though, there are some new techniques, and we'll go into some of the new parts shortly. But it's in the classical yellow and black, or sort of yellow, black, orange, black, whatever you say the colour is on this. It's sort of between the two. So this car itself was actually released in 2013. There's actually only 375 of these ever made. So this is the way that majority of people will be able to buy into what is a historical piece of machinery that only a few people will ever be able to own. LEGO have actually worked very close with McLaren as well to try and get the parts of this working properly. So the dihedral doors that are part of this, just for rear wing, actually work on this. And there's new parts on that as well. So there's a spring-loaded shock absorber, which actually click the doors into place, which is quite nice because normally they don't quite sit right. So it's going to be good to see how that works. There's a 7-speed gearbox on this. They have redone the gearbox as well. And they've also got a shifter so you can switch between hybrid and E-mode. And it just looks amazing. I say there is a V8 engine, as they do on all these supercars. It'll have the pistons moving, so I don't expect the engine itself to be very different. But I know they have done a lot of work on the gearbox and the way that the bodywork sits on this. So it's going to look really good. There are a couple of new parts which I have got listed so I could remember them. But there's a new shifter drum element, 2 new gear wheels, a 45-degree bone gear, unique tyres and overall features, which got new alloy wheels, wheel arches, panels, and a new A-pillar. So there's quite a lot that's been developed just for this set, and it's going to be interesting to see that. So on the box, that's how I think the boxes for the supercar range are brilliant. They're all very nice. I think this showing the back of the car, it just really draws your attention to the box, and I love it. I think it looks really good. It's got the embossed P1 on the top, and then on the top of the box it shows the 1:1 scale of the wheel itself. And if we turn it around to the back, we get this lovely view of what the car is going to look like when it's built. Very similar to the design that they do on a lot of the Star Wars boxes now, where it's plain black background with a light behind the subject. But I think it works really well. It's actually on the back of the box where it's got the set number and the number of pieces. And I think the presentation they do on these, it's got like a carbon fibre effect all over the box, is brilliant. And it's different to a lot of the things they're doing in LEGO. And that's one of the things I like about this. It just oozes with style and quality. So I think what we'll do is we'll get the box open and we'll show you what comes inside the box. Right, so when you open the box, this is what you're presented with, which is a really nice picture of the McLaren P1. I'll try and show off this as well as I can. It's not ideal doing this on its side. But yeah, so when you open it up, then the flaps open up, and you've got where it shows the the Lego car in the middle of it, which I think is really nice. So it shows how well it fits into the main car. So you've got the Lego back end, Lego middle, and the front of the car. And it doesn't look that different to what the actual picture on the front is. So that's really nice. You've got these really nice pictures of the P1 on either side as well. And then inside, you've got 3 boxes, which have got the picture of the car on each one. It's got more pictures on the end of it, and it's got a numbered box on the side. So this is box number 1. So you've got 3 boxes that are in here, and then one thing that looks really nice, but I haven't actually got there yet. Oh. Okay, so this bit is actually the side part of the boxes, which is a bit weird. So the side boxes have actually got the big flap that opens at the front. Let me just put that down there for a minute. And then you have these, it looks like you've got 2 huge books. And when I say huge, I mean huge. The amount of pages on this is ridiculous when you think that's only one of them. So I'm going to lay the box down a minute so the other one doesn't fall out. Let's take box number 2 out. We'll just put that there a moment. And then we'll get the next book out. Just move this out of the way. Sorry, just trying to make sure that nothing falls over and gets damaged. So again, so you get these 2 enormous books, and on the front of the box they actually go together to make the supercar as well, or hypercar, sorry, rather than supercar. But this just looks absolutely amazing, to be honest. I say the books themselves, they just feel better quality than you get in the standard instruction books. And just looking at this first one, oh wow. There's a lot of information about the car, so I've actually got to page 40 before I even get to what's in box 1. So this is a proper collector's item, which is why it's nice that it's such high quality paper. It tells you all about the development, all about the actual car itself, and yeah, it's going to be a good read. So you got the McLaren Ultimate Series Heritage. So it goes through all the different McLaren cars there. Yeah, I think this is definitely one for the collectors. And I just can't wait to get building it. So, I mean, let's see. So in the first book, we've got 544 steps over 370 pages of building. And then we've got the second book, which seems as big. So about 380 pages of building, and it goes straight into building on page 1. But yeah, I think what we need to do is get this built, and we'll show you what it looks like at the end. So here we have the finished build, and I have to say, I love this set. For me, probably the best set I've built this year. And as I do love my Star Wars, as you know, but I think this is beats everything we built this year, and I think it will probably still be better than the Jabba sail barge when we built that one. But this was absolute pleasure to build. It seemed to take ages. It was very, very complex. The gearbox, the door mechanism, everything was really hard to build. My big hands didn't help. There were bits where you had to try and get pins underneath. So it wasn't ideal, but it just works, and it's solid, and it's a fantastic build. So before we go on to the actual car itself, as you do get the plaque being one of the special supercars. So we'll just go over the details it's got. So it's the McLaren P1, V8 twin turbochargers with single electric motor in hybrid mode. Now, it only has a 4.7 kilowatt motor, which will go about 6 miles. So it'll work for acceleration. It's not going to get you very far. It's a 3.8 litre engine, producing 903 brake horsepower with 664 pound-feet of torque. Dual clutch 7-speed rear wheel drive. Again, the gearbox, we'll talk about that more in a moment, but they have actually done the 7-speed gearbox. It can do an astonishing 217 miles an hour. 0 to 62 in 2.8, 0 to 124 in 6.8, and then just under 1.4 tonne. So it's a bit of a beast. The car itself was actually released in 2013, and I think they've really captured the essence of the car in this build. I mean, when you look at it on the screen, the shape of this and the panels they've got on it, the angles just really work, and it looks really close to the actual car. And I think they've just done an amazing job. I mean, we'll start off with the sort of the rear end. So this is actually the last bit you build. The rear section, all the way from underneath the exhaust pipe to the top here, is actually one section. I think they've put these types of pins in so you can actually take it off to have a look. So we'll do that towards the end of the video. I'll wait until I've reviewed everything else. Then I'll show you the engine and gearbox that's hidden under there. But as you can see, the complexity of the shapes they've got in this is pretty impressive, to be honest. And looking at the actual car, it follows it really well. Even the bit of the curve going into where the spoiler comes up, the angles they've got going down the side of the windows. It's got printing. There's no stickers in this set at all. Everything is printed. Here up the McLaren P1. I think that's it on this bit. Oh, you've actually got carbon fibre on this section here. I'm not sure why that's the only bit of carbon fibre on this, but it is. There's a printed badge at the front, and then the bits inside the car as well. And they just work really well. The printing is very high quality, so I'm pleased with that. So you have the engine and gearbox. It's got the moving pistons, as you tend to get on a lot of the cars. So again, we'll show that when I take the back panel off. Fully working steering. The gearbox is crazy. I lost count of how many different gears are in this thing. It's the amount of cogs you actually put together building it is ridiculous. But it works really well, and unlike some of the other ones, when you actually move the paddle shift, the gearbox actually does work, which has been an issue on a couple of the other ones, where as a gearbox on its own, it worked fine. As soon as you actually put the car together, there's something catching, and it struggled to change to the gears. But this doesn't seem to have that problem. And I think that's really, really good. It's got a huge exhaust outlet. And again, when I take this top off, you'll actually see they've got the pipes going down to it. So it's not just stuck on the back. It's actually connected to the pipes. all the aerodynamics they've got at the back, it just looks so much like the real car. Then we'll move to the front and come back to the sort of one of the new bits they did. So the front, again, looks absolutely amazing. It looks very similar to the actual car. I like the way they've managed to get the lights. Again, it's a very awkward shape for lights, but it works. They've done a really good job on that. The bonnet, as I say, the angles they've managed to get, it's just a feat of engineering. I just love it. So the bonnet itself, as I say, will lift up, and unlike the other sets out of these, it has actually got something to hold the bonnet up so you don't keep trapping your fingers. And they've got the obligatory bit of luggage you get for these sets. Would have been nice to see a bit of branding on that, but also it wouldn't have been that much of an issue if they didn't have this. It's not a great looking bit of building, but you know what it is. It does its job. And I'll presume this is going to be the motor on the front here. So there's not really any detail in that bit. So I'm not sure if the motor's there actually at the back, but yeah, it's there's not a lot of space in this. As I say, you've got the McLaren badge on the front. The wheels, they're very, very low profile wheels. Massive alloys, which I love. And then you've got the colour coded, so the papaya brake calipers on all four wheels. Now I don't know whether it's because it's such low profile or whether something's rubbing, but it does actually squeak a bit if you move it. To be honest, it's going to be on a wall, so I'm not going to have that issue. But so I don't know if it's the way I put it together, whether something's not quite sat right, but there's a definite squeak. And then we come to the centre bit, and the doors on this are really complex. I'd say the build of the doors is probably on par with what you get on a standard set, just on the door. Again, the angles they get, the techniques you get to get the angles and then to get the mechanism to open the door is phenomenal. Even as I was building it, it was very hard to understand how the door was going to work, and all of a sudden it works. And they must need some degree to be able to work all that out. Yes, mathematically, for me, that would be such a hard thing to do. But it looks amazing. They say they've got the shapes and the air channels and everything just right. It's fantastic. The one gripe I do have is they've got these strips at the top for the actual doors to show where the top of the door is. And when you open it, you have to make sure you pull it out slightly, otherwise it will catch the roof and the door will get, the window will get bent underneath rather than going on top. Not a big issue, it's just a watch out if you are opening the doors. But it just looks brilliant. So the doors themselves, there is actually a little sort of channel it sits in, so you don't get the wobble on the door you tend to get on the other sets, because it's got a little channel it sits in. Not only that, there's a mechanism under here that's using one of the springs that you'd normally get on the suspension as like a locking mechanism for the door. And so as it gets into lower position, the spring will kick in and it'll actually keep the door down. Which is really nice, especially as it's going on the wall as well, so it means the doors aren't going to move when it's on the wall. And I think that's really good. I think they really need to keep that in any future sets they do, because it just makes it look better that the doors are kept in position. I say the Ferrari and the Sian look really nice, but the doors don't quite sit right. You know, there's always a bit of movement out because there's nothing holding them in position. They've sorted that with this, and hopefully that will continue. The door itself, I say it's got the movement of the butterfly door. Oops. So it lifts up, and as it goes up, it's automatically pulled out to the side. So from the front, you can see it's got the proper angle for the butterfly door, and it just works really well. I say, when you put it down, you get to a certain point and it will pull it back down. It does sometimes miss the channel, but it's literally just put it back in the channel. But there's a bit of force there holding it in position. So you get the lovely line down the side of the car because it is in the correct location. So on the inside you got the paddle shifts, which again, I said earlier, works quite well. There is actually a little gear lever in the middle that's supposed to be put into hybrid mode or E mode. So it basically just stops the pistons going. And then you've got some printed pieces for the speedo, for the display that I have in the middle. And again, just with the bit of detail I got with single studs and things like that, it actually looks like it's a proper console for a car. So I think they've done a great job there. The seats, a little bit basic for me, but again, it works. It's very similar design to what you got in the other cars. There is actually a printed piece on the middle of the steering wheel with a McLaren badge, and it's really good. So I'm going to try and take this off without breaking it. Shouldn't be too bad. So just got the 2 pins, and then this whole section. If we can get it around the. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me show you the spoiler. So there is actually a little cog at the back that you can rotate, and the spoiler comes up and will actually tilt into the correct position. And again, it works really well. It's got a little sort of recess where it sits in, and I think again it just works. The way they've done the design, it just all fits together so well. So let me put that back down so I can take this off. Right, so this bit will come off, but so it has to go around underneath the exhaust pipe. I might be lying there, it might actually lock in position. Nope, there it is. It was just stuck on the spoiler. So at the back, again, the detail is formal. So you've got the exhaust system going down to the single exhaust. I say you probably can't really see too much of the gearbox, but you've got the gear selectors on either side. And I say the amount cocks. I think these orange drums are the new bits they've used to give the extra gears. You've got your normal build of the engine, so it's the V8, so you've got the 8 pistons going up and down when it's running. I do like a little gold touch on at the start of the exhaust system, and it just looks really nice. I like the fact that it's hidden, you can't see any of this, but they've actually got the gold. They've got the exhaust system going into the single pipe at the back, or single outlet at the back. You got the suspension struts going across. It's really nice. I say you won't be able to see it, but the springs are going down this section here for the doors, and then the complexity of the sort of the aerodynamics at the back, and literally all the way around this car. It's very, very, very nice. I don't think there's a lot more to say on this. As I say, there will be another very small section of this video at the end, because I still have to build it, but because this was ordered sort of the first couple of days of release, we have the P1 rotating stand. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be sort of that great, but we'll have a look. But as I say, it came with a set. I'd like to keep it with the sets. I'll find some way to display this on the wall as well. But I think this just, yeah, I love it. So if you have the room and you want to build something that's not straightforward, very technical, and it's going to keep you busy for hours, for me, this is the set you want to get. So let's get the little P1 built, and then I'll speak to you in a minute. So here we have the gift we purchased. It's actually quite nice. It's better than I thought it'd be. I'd say it's definitely been over-engineered. but I do like it. It's quite nice, and it's so when you rotate it, you got to do the right end. So when you rotate it anti-clockwise, you'll see the little McLaren badge comes up at the front, and then the P1 just moves gently side to side. If you turn it the way you have it without the McLaren badge, but yeah, it was actually quite complex for what it does, but it's quite nice. And as a gift with purchase, it was something a bit different. It was something unique to the set. So I think that's all right, actually. So overall, I think just a fantastic build this time. And as I definitely recommend them. And I'd love to know in the comments if you've got this and what you think of it. Thank you for watching. I'd love to know your comments on this set. If you haven't already, please give George's channel a like and a thumbs up for the video. And watch out for next week's video, which is going to be the Brickhead's Fortnite Bright Bomber.